Hey, what's up, guys? It's Michael Grubb, Evolve Ministry. And I've got another True Stories for you. Okay, so this one goes back to my youth. Probably was around 12 or 13 years old. And I used to have this irrational fear of roller coasters, and it didn't make any sense at the time because it wasn't like I was constantly going to theme parks or experiencing anything like that. It was just the stuff that I saw on television, the stuff I saw in commercials, etc. It seemed like the stuff was really high and moved really fast, and I felt that more than likely that was going to be a very scary situation. I had also heard of situations where some of their hardware had failed before, and people had been thrown from roller coasters and killed, etc. In my head, roller coasters were extremely dangerous. Nonetheless, one year, some friends of mine that I knew from church, actually from their church, I actually knew from school, and they all had a church group, youth group together. They asked me to go to Kings Island with them. We went. There was this big bus ride there, big bus ride back, taking tons of kids. Well, these kids knew that I had a fear of roller coasters. It was something that I had brought up a few times, and we talked about it on the bus on the way there. And so the whole situation had become get Mike over his fear so that way he could ride the roller coasters, because everyone wanted to. This was a whole pack thing where everyone was going to get together, get on the roller coasters together, and ride. The first one that they got me on, and they convinced me to get on, was Beast Jr. Now, Beast Jr., of course, is the little Beast, and then there was the Beast. And the Beast was, if I'm not mistaken, at that time, the biggest roller coaster at that time. And so they got me on Beast Jr. It took a lot of time for them to convince me. And I experienced Beast Jr. I enjoyed it. It was fast. It wasn't very high up in the air, but it was fast, and I ended up liking it very much. They ended up, once I got off that, at this point, the whole thing had become, let's get on the Beast. Let's get Mike on the Beast. Well, I was still very hesitant because the Beast was much higher. Of course, the Beast is going to be much faster. And it was one of those things where, I told myself, well, Beast Jr. was okay because it wasn't nearly as high, and probably not nearly as dangerous. It took an hour or two for them to finally convince me to get on the Beast. And so I remember standing in a line. It was like a line that lasted forever. It took us at least 30 or 45 minutes to get up to the front where we could all get on it. The way this worked out was I ended up being the second to last person, on the back. So, like, everyone who had went to the church, they filled up all the rows. And then I was in the back with some random guy, or second to the last of the back, with some random guy who was not on the church group, trip, whatever. Then there were two, maybe three people behind me. And the way I remember it is that the way they had it was you sat next to a person, there was one to the left, one to the right, and I think I was in the middle. I think it was something like that. It's been such a long time. But I do know that the person to the left of me was trying to help me in this situation. So there I am. I'm watching, and I'm sitting, like I said, towards the back. And I'm watching the attendant walk up, and he's belting everyone in, putting the seatbelts on everyone. And then you could hear he's going back, person to person. He attaches the belt, snap. You hear a click, and that person is taken care of. Snap, 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 snap. Well, gets to me, I hear him snap that guy in, click. He puts mine on, I don't hear it click. I just hear kind of slides in, but I don't hear it click. And then I hear a click with the person to the right, and then the people in the back. And I'm like, I wonder if he actually got that in. And so I start fiddling with mine, and sure enough, it slides out. In other words, my seatbelt did not lock in. And I feel the roller coaster start up, and as soon as it starts up, I turn around and look at the guy, the attendant, and I start screaming at him, "Stop the roller coaster. My belt didn't snap in." By that point, the sound of the engines are moving and everything, and I don't think he heard me. So I'm still screaming. The guy to the left of me actually starts screaming at the guy too, okay? Now, I'm sitting there fiddling with my belt trying to get it to snap in. The guy to the left of me, you know, he realizes now we're starting to get to the crest of where it goes up the hill. He tries to reach over and he's trying to push it in too, okay? But there's only so far he can go, and there's only so far that he can reach over, because the way these things are separated, he's trying to get over and push it in like this. I'm sitting there trying to push it in. Nothing's working. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, yelling back, even as we're getting to the crest. And then I remember that the kids in front of me were telling me to calm down. You know, this isn't that big of a deal. That they're sitting there thinking that I'm freaking out just because I'm getting ready to ride on a scary roller coaster. But they haven't figured out that I'm actually freaking out because the seatbelt hasn't latched in. And so I'm screaming. I get towards the middle of the hill, and then I realize no one's going to hear me. The guy to the left of me can't reach. We can't get anything to work. So I start thinking to myself, I'm just going to have to hold on. I'm going to have to hook my arm underneath this rail, and I'm going to have to hold like this. And technically, even if I had done that, the velocity itself is, you know, the roller coaster hits corners going up and down and up. There's no way I was going to be able to deal with that amount of speed. So the velocity itself, it was going to be just too much for my body to handle. Probably would have torn me apart. And so, as it's ticking further up and going up to the top, I think it's just getting right at the very top, because I remember looking down and it's seeing the crest of the hill as it's going down. It's moving a little bit further, and I remember seeing the bottom of it. I was like, I got to try one more time. So I reach, grab it, take it and push it, and as I do, I hear that click. I hear that snap go in. Now, what ends up happening here was a wave of relief washes over me. Now, this is literally, it happens right before the roller coaster goes down the hill. I mean, right before it. Kind of like something that you would see in a movie. Just literally right before it's diving down. And this wave of relief washes over me to the point where I don't register the fact that I'm any longer even on a roller coaster. That thing hits, goes down fast, it's hitting curves, hitting corners. The only thing that's in my head is thank God. Okay? So, the roller coaster itself, at that point, didn't scare me whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I was able to ride multiple roller coasters after that, because the initial fear of possibly having to even try to survive that roller coaster, as it was going around curves and hitting hills and everything else without a seatbelt on, the initial fear of that trumped everything else. And then once that relief hit me from the seatbelt going in, I had officially overcome ever being scared of any roller coaster ever again. So it's kind of funny because most people who I've told that story to said, well, I would have never gotten on a roller coaster again after that. But no, that was the very thing that completely defeated the idea that I should ever be scared of a roller coaster. And it's kind of interesting because I've had many close calls in my life where the universe has just stepped right in and saved me right at that moment. But it was always, of course, the universe putting me in that situation in the first place. But I do believe that that was one of the many things that has happened in my life that has helped me to become the fearless type of person that I am. Because there's some people that will claim to be fearless, but you get put in situations and you can clearly see that they still have plenty of fear. But I've been put in a whole lot of very ruthlessly scary situations in my life and have come out the other end of it. And so at this point in my life, there really is not much at all that frightens me. There may still be something there that I am not aware of, but at this stage of the game, I think I have about as little fear as anyone that I know. Nonetheless, that was a true story. There was no embellishment. It happened exactly as I stated. If you want to hear more of these sort of things, these true stories, I tried this once a little while ago, but for whatever reason, it really didn't catch. There were people who liked them, but the majority of people would just skip them. If you like the true stories, let me know, and I may provide some more. But if it's one of these things where I see that they don't go too far, they don't get shared, people really don't care about them, I won't be adding them anymore, because I try to do what only works. So let me know what you think. Also, feel free to tell me what you think about it in the comments. The other thing is, pretty soon we're going to be doing stuff like raffles, contests and whatnot, get you guys involved in certain things. Some of the gifts will be getting free subscriptions to our site in terms of some of our courses and whatnot. There will be other prizes, but just let us know and keep watching. All right, guys, much love. Take care. Michael Grubb from Evolve Ministry, out.